In this clip, I'm going to tell you how you can make 6 figures as a marketer. But before we do, don't forget, if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button too, because you want to be amazing. You're already amazing, but you want to be amazinger as a marketer or an entrepreneur, because these are the types of videos that we cover, the clips that we cover too. And if you're coming from another channel, don't forget to subscribe as well, because it helps us grow and it motivates us to create more content like this. All right, in a previous video, we talked about how you can go to a good 5-figure type of payout as a marketer. Now in this video, we're going to talk about how to get to 6 figures. One of the stories I shared was when I was doing freelance work for a t-shirt company in Philadelphia, and I was getting paid a good hourly amount. I think they were paying me like, I don't know, $25 a month, not a month, an hour. We kept working together for about a month or two, and I kept bringing new ideas to the table. I was like, well, we should do things this way. We should do things this way. I don't think things should be done this way. This is broken over here. So I kept hitting more and more and more. And eventually I got offered a good 6-figure salary. We're talking about 150 grand or so. And they also offered a profit sharing amount. But I had to move to Philadelphia. And I don't really like the Eagles, and I don't really like cold. So didn't really want to deal with that. I'd rather kind of just stay where I am. So keep in mind, sometimes you might get offered a good 6-figure amount or a good salary amount, but that's not what matters. What matters is how happy are you going to be. I knew if I moved to Philly, I wouldn't have any friends there. It'd be cold during the winter time. And I don't know what I'd be eating. Would I be eating Philly cheesesteak all the time? Would I be eating hot dogs all the time? I don't know. Don't know what would happen, right? So how do you actually get there? When I was doing this freelance work on Elance, now known as Upwork, I wasn't doing the status quo. I kept trying to do more and more and more. I kept offering to do more too. I would find things that are wrong, and I would study things that I didn't know and try to understand it and then come with an idea. So here's what's valuable. If you can do the job, let's say you are an employee, okay? Let's say you can do the job, but you need to be told what to do, or you're an employee that comes up with the ideas and actually executes on them, and you can figure things out on your own. What do you think is more valuable? There's value to both sides, but at least to me, what's more valuable is someone that can find things, find the issues, and then figure it out on their own, right? Because if you require too much hand-holding, let's say I hire someone and then I need to continually train them, and they're asking me questions all the time. That's fine, but that takes me away from doing things that are higher impact, right? So it just depends on the stage of business that you're at. So if you're starting out, maybe you need to be training people more frequently. But as you get to a larger size, you're gonna wanna have people that can figure things out, people that are really good at recruiting as well. So that's why people get paid more money, because they know how to build teams, they know how to solve problems, and they don't need to kind of be told what to do all the time. There's room for both. You have to consider the season of kind of where you're at, the season of where your business is at. Let's say you are the entrepreneur. Also, on the flip side, you have to consider where you're at. Are you the one that needs to be told what to do all the time, has questions all the time, or are you the type to figure things out on your own, okay? And maybe have a healthy balance of both. The ones that get paid the big bucks, those are the ones that figure it out, okay? That's basically what happened. Because I kept hitting, eventually that worked out. Now, I mentioned in the last video, I got fired from a job where I was working as SEO strategist. And well, after that, I was kind of doing freelance consulting on the side, and I got this opportunity to take over and lead marketing for an online education startup called Treehouse. And that's where I got offered again. I got offered a 6-figure salary, and I got offered equity in the company. And for the role, I was competing with CMOs. You had this 26-year-old kid who was competing with people that are very experienced. We're talking about people in their 40s or 50s, right? Even though I started my background in SEO, I learned paid media, I learned email marketing, I learned affiliate marketing, I learned how to take advantage of analytics, I learned content marketing, eventually I learned podcasts, eventually I learned video. So you learn all these things, you become a T-shaped marketer, and that's how you can CYA, cover your ass. So it doesn't matter if whatever happens to you, like if you get fired from a job, you will always have a job because you are so well-rounded. Becoming a T-shaped marketer, that's gonna help you. And because I was bringing so many ideas to the table when I was doing the interview, it's kind of similar to what I was saying, like bring ideas to the table and then execute on it, right? And what I was doing at the time was bringing new ideas to the table, bring a new approach to things, looking at things like basically a different way than how the CEO looks at them or looked at them, because the CEO has so many other responsibilities, right? There's 50 people on the team. So to be able to offer that level of relief and be able to execute on it as well, that's not something every single person can do, right? So you want to make sure that if you become a T-shaped marketer, that you are basically indispensable. So the book I recommend reading here, a book called Linchpin, and this is from Seth Godin. Really good book. It's about becoming indispensable, because most people, what ends up happening, especially for big companies, is they become cogs in a system. And if you're just a cog in a machine, sure, but you get paid like a cog too, because you're just a cog. So you have to be what's indispensable, where people are like, I need this guy, I need this guy, I need this guy. In fact, you become so indispensable that people want to counter. I remember when I worked at a marketing agency, this was an agency that never ever countered. And I said, hey, look, I'm leaving for this other job. And they're like, the guy that I reported to said, hey, look, hold on for a second. I'm gonna see if we can go to the CEO and offer you a counter offer. And they did that. It was my boss and then my boss's boss that did that. And the boss was a co-founder. They went to the CEO, and the CEO said, fine, like he's good, but like what's to stop him from doing that again? So here's another lesson for you. If you run a business, you probably don't want to counteroffer, because if they're gonna leave once, if they offer to leave once, or they've been looking already, they're gonna leave, okay? So don't counteroffer. You want to get to a level where people are like, man, I can't believe that person's gonna go. I want to make sure, you know, I can counteroffer to retain that person. You want to be that person that they retain. That's what ended up happening at that company. And then when I think about the company I went to lead marketing at, when I said, hey, I'm gonna leave, the CEO actually was like, he was actually a little like, well, you know, your options are going to be worth more than wherever you're going to. You know, he was actually trying to convince me to stay. I ended up making the right choice, and you know, what I have today is worth a lot more than what the options would be. Here's the other lesson for you. Sometimes you got to take gambles, and what you might think may seem really risky to you, you take a shot on it, and it might turn out good, and that's how you win. You take calculated risks, and then you win out. So that's how I journeyed. I took my journey from, you know, freelancer to going into six figures, and then going into even multiple six figures as well. Make sure that you become indispensable. That's one thing. Second thing too is bring new ideas to the table. Third thing is you want to be the type of person that can execute, not just bring the new ideas to the table, but execute on the ideas. You want to make sure that you are that autonomous person that people can rely on, that people can count on. Those are the things that will get you into that six-figure level as a marketer. And I used to think, you know, coming out of college that if I could just make like $60,000 a year or something like that, I would be set for the rest of my life. Now, what you realize is that you know, you're going to need to, if you want to go into the six-figure range, you are going to need to push harder than that, and you need to really set yourself apart. Okay, so you're not the type, again, you're not going to get there by being the one that is always asking for help and always kind of, you know, counting on others for, you know, some hand-holding. You are going to get there by being the one that says, hey, I did this studying over here. I think we should do something this way. I think the results are going to be this. And you actually show the results. Like, you actually have to hit numbers. If you hit numbers, there's going to be no problem for you getting to the six-figure amount. But if you cannot hit numbers, then you are going to struggle to get there, and you're going to be stuck at the level that you're at. The harder the trials, the better for you, because if you can pass the trial, you get to level up into another level. You can go from 5 figures to 6 figures to the next video, where we're going to talk about how you can become a 7-figure marketer. Okay, that's going to be a beautiful one, because we all want to, you know, 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures. Okay, so let me know in the comments what you think I might have missed. If you agree with me, disagree with me, tell me how you are going to get to 6 figures as a marketer. Maybe you surpassed it already. And then don't forget to check out the next video. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell button to get the notifications. And if you're on a different channel, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And we will see you tomorrow.